The Iskandar development corridor has had a massive impact on Johor in terms of direct foreign investment in several industries, including property development, education, leisure, hospitality, logistics, manufacturing, petrochemical, and a host of other activities. The development work has been furious since 2006. We asked Johor Bahru MP Shahrir if he is pleased with the development.
As a member of parliament, I'm happy that with Iskandar, I'm able to implement what I've always felt about how development should be, which is it must mean the empowerment of the local communities. I've engaged Iskandar from time to time on facilities, on improvement in security, on the way of how do you decide on projects, how do you decide on amenities. And I think for Iskandar, I noticed they are learning. It is a learning process for them because it's a learning process for everybody. That when you want transformation, it must involve the stakeholders. And the stakeholders will have to include the local communities, the people on the ground, who are really who will benefit from it and will be able to contribute to how it should be done. Right?
For a while, since the first bulldozers came in to clear the land for development in the Iskandar property, prices have shot up. Even in Johor Bahru town itself, which has seen depressed prices. This buoys those looking at property as instruments of personal investments.
Johor Bahru property as per se has dropped tremendously starting from 1997 crisis, and it has dropped from continuously for easily 10 years. Only until late of 2006 when Iskandar was first mooted, and starting this couple of years for the past 3 to 5 years we start seeing the price really coming up, and it's really going up very fast. To me, rather to say it's actually a price high, I will call it a recovering. It's actually recovering, and we are heavily undervalued previously. In any property market, residential easily forms the majority of the down the pyramid, which is easily 80 to 90% is residential. So if you really look at a house residential market, for example, I can easily say the market has doubled or even tripled in terms of the value for the past 3 to 5 years.
Okay, for what I see for the last 5 years, since this Iskandar started in 2006, the pricing have been increased, especially start on 2010. For those high end, they go up very transmittently. At the same time, we can see also some secondary market also increase, but not as high as a primary market. So what can we see is after the completion of the Catholic project or the highway, EDL and so on, immediately we can see the price shoot up very fast. Until today, we can see the property market is still got a very good response in the market.
But the Iskandar development isn't without criticism, chief of which is that citizens of Malaysia's southern neighbour have gained more than Malaysians themselves. And this is because the value of the ringgit against the Singapore dollar. A 500,000 ringgit property is a mere 190,000 Singapore dollars.
It really depends how you look at it. If you ask the developers who just want to capitalize on their new projects, of course, the higher they sell, the better revenue they get. And of course, if they want to sell higher, their best target will be Singaporean. Because if you really compare with the land price between Singapore and Johor Bahru, we are easily only 1/5 of what Singapore is selling right now. And I don't think it's a matter of benefiting. It's a matter of I think we welcome all kinds of investment, including foreign investments in terms of buying properties in Johor. So it has to be a well-balanced kind of thing when it comes to investment.
The way I look at it, as far as the state land rules, because the land is state matter, we can see what increases is more on the privately market. We can see most of the developers, they are building high-end properties. But from what I know from the state land rules, for those condominium or service apartment, foreigner only can allow 50%. Then terrace houses, double story and above, you're mistaken about 20%. For those some other properties, I can't remember, maybe about 20 to 30%. Meaning, we can see that it can be control for foreigner to buy this type of property. We cannot stop this developer to build these high-end properties. You know, this is free market. But the thing is, this foreigner, they are willing to buy at this A price, for example, 700 to 800 per square foot. This is their right, but the thing we only control that we only can sell 50% of the total development to foreigner. But for us local, we no need to buy as high as 700, 800 per square foot. We still got secondary market. We still got development nearby also selling 400, 500 per square foot. I think if we afford, we can buy this type of property.
There are some few exceptions where they actually managed to get approval to be able to sell 100% to foreigners. I think Medini is one of them. And so generally, the foreign ownership in Johor Bahru, I don't think it will be as great or as big amount as what people expected. It cannot be that because they can only buy within the quota.
In an effort to cool down the hot property market and perhaps also to stem public criticism that properties in Iskandar are affordable to those with Singapore dollars, the federal and state governments have put in place regulations. Regulations such as minimum purchase price of 1 million ringgit and imposing a levy, in Johor's case, of 2% onto foreign purchases. But will this not dampen the property market in Iskandar?
Of course, this ceiling price of the minimum price of foreign purchase to 1 million, I think it is set by after the budget, federal. But land is a state matter. As far as a state concerned, if not mistaken, Johor State, they're going to impose this 1 million for those projects who got the SBK's approval after 1st of May. Meaning, for those projects, they got the approval, meaning in bracket SBKS, Serah Balik Kunia Semula, before 1st of May. They still entitled to sell the property to the foreigner at 500,000 above, meaning 1 million below. They still can buy. This is start 1st of May. But the thing is, the 2% of the approval fee will be imposed based on the sale and purchase equivalent price. So meaning, I can see up to next year, the Johor property market, I don't think it will be a slowdown. I don't think it will be a slowdown for the first half. I don't think it will slow down because a lot of projects below 1 million maybe will still push up in the market. But the thing is, what we can see is, lately there is a comment on there is a slow sales on certain project, high-end project. My view is, because the budget just announced, a transition period, normally people will look and see. But I think I can see the next year, we can see the reaction from the market to see that Iskandar is still a place to stay and to invest for the foreigner.
I think it will affect those who used to try to sell between 500,000 to 1 million. Sorry. Other than that, I think the effects will be quite minimal. As I said, many of things they can't buy anyway. Even beside the quota, they have certain property types which they can buy and which they cannot buy. So I would say the impact will be minimal on that, but it will definitely be a big hit to some developers out there who is actually marketing this kind of product, or will be marketing this kind of product, and the Singaporean are there, which the Singaporean is their main target. Those will be affected. But for the rest, general, I think it's a fair thing to do, and we are already, I think compared to other places, we are already more relaxed in terms of receiving these foreigners buying in Johor. Like in Penang, they started, the levy is 3%. Johor charged 2%. And also Penang, if you want to buy a landed house in Penang Island, it's going to be minimum 2 million. But Johor, we still remain at 1 million for everything. And vice versa, if you really look at Singapore, we can't even go over to Singapore to buy a freehold property. No way. So relatively, I think Johor Bahru is still a very foreign friendly environment for the investors. And for sure, I mean, I think in the end of the day, what our government is, we want the developers to build not only to just to look at profits, but to actually to build to cater to locals' interests.
I think the property investment is is something that the rich are interested in, right? I don't think the price of a house or apartment in London has dampened the demand for property investment in London. And in a way, it will not also be difficult. It will not be made difficult for the foreigner to buy if they have the money, right? We have to also see that Malaysia itself is a country which is different from Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. We somehow forgot, perhaps, or ignored the fact that we are the only country in the region which allows the foreigner to own land in Malaysia. Thailand, you can't do it. In Indonesia, foreigner can't own land. In Singapore, a foreigner can't buy a plot of a landed property. So while that situation actually opens us up to foreign investment and foreign purchase of property.
Although there are concerns, the people we interviewed remain cautiously confident that the JB property market will still perform well in the coming years. But for Johorians, can they expect more affordable housing?
The new Menteri Besar, the new state government has actually put a priority on that. And there is a mechanism which has been able to set up a fund. There is a fund now for the purposes of providing affordable homes. And that fund had been started earlier, but it's just about tweaking and getting it right that that the benefits of housing should be felt by a lot more people. And several locations have been identified. I think I'm happy about that. And number two, we see the development, for example, the need for more residential area within Johor Bahru. So I've suggested to the Menteri Besar that the factory lots, the factory land which is adjacent to Kampung Melayu Majidi, for example, where the tenure is now 15 years, left with 15 years. The tenure of this industrial plots should not be renewed. So that in 10 years' time, in 15 years' time, you will have new area which will be made available for the expansion of Kampung Melayu Majidi, for the expansion of Lakin, so that there will be more residences within Johor Bahru, so that the factories will move out to the further away from town, and then but residences more residences can be built within Johor Bahru.